Everyone's talking about the Fujifilm X-Pro5 rumors. But here's the thing. Most of what you've heard isn't the full story, and what I found might just change how you look at this camera entirely. The leaked images showing that familiar rangefinder silhouette, the whispers of a new 26-megapixel sensor, the speculation about pricing that could hit $2,200, it's all creating this perfect storm of hype and confusion. But after digging through patent filings, connecting with industry insiders, and analyzing Fujifilm's strategic moves over the past year, there's a side to this story that nobody else is covering. Something that could make or break this camera before it even hits the shelves. You're watching Alt Buzz, where we cut through the hype and get to the truth. I'm here because I've been tracking every Fujifilm rumor for months, and today we're separating fact from fiction on what might be the most important camera release of 2025. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's real, what's wishful thinking, and whether the X-Pro5 could actually be worth the hype everyone's generating. We're going to dive into the specs that matter, the overlooked details that could define this camera's success, and most importantly, the honest reality check that the rumor mill isn't giving you. If you like cameras without the fluff, you know what to do. Hit subscribe, because we're about to get into some seriously interesting territory. And trust me, what's coming up next is something no one else is talking about. Let's be real about where Fujifilm stands right now in this absolutely brutal, mirrorless market. The X-Pro3 launched back in 2019, and while it had that gorgeous hidden LCD and film simulation magic, it also had some serious limitations that left photographers frustrated. Meanwhile, Sony's been pushing the A7R series into crazy resolution territory. Leica's charging luxury car prices for their rangefinder experience. And Canon's been quietly building an ecosystem that's hard to ignore. Fujifilm needs the X-Pro5 to be more than just an incremental update. They need it to remind everyone why the rangefinder form factor still matters in 2025. The X-Pro line has always been about that perfect blend of vintage soul and modern performance. But here's the challenge. Modern photographers demand features that the X-Pro3 simply couldn't deliver. Faster autofocus for street photography, better video capabilities for content creators, and most critically, a user experience that doesn't require you to flip a hidden screen just to change basic settings. The market has evolved, and Fujifilm knows they're at a crossroads where nostalgia alone won't sell cameras. But here's where things get interesting. The leaks aren't telling you the whole truth. The rumored specs sound impressive on paper, and trust me, they should get you excited if you're a Fujifilm shooter. That new 26-megapixel stacked X-Trans CMOS sensor isn't just a number. It could mean blackout-free shooting for street photographers who need to capture fleeting moments without missing the action. Think about it. You're walking through Tokyo at golden hour, that perfect scene unfolds in front of you, and instead of your viewfinder going black between shots, you maintain complete visual connection with your subject. The X-Processor 5 is rumored to bring significantly improved autofocus tracking, which means those candid portraits and moving subjects that used to frustrate X-Pro3 users could become the camera's strongest suit. The hybrid optical and electronic viewfinder system is getting a major upgrade with higher resolution and reduced lag, potentially solving one of the biggest complaints about previous generations. For video creators, the rumored 6K at 30 frames per second and oversampled 4K at 60 frames per second recording could transform this from a stills-focused camera into a legitimate hybrid tool. But here's what gets really interesting. Improved heat management means you might actually be able to record those longer video segments without the camera shutting down, something that's plagued many mirrorless cameras in demanding shooting conditions. The refined rangefinder body maintains that classic aesthetic while adding better weather sealing, which matters when you're shooting in unpredictable conditions and need gear that won't let you down. And yet, one of the most important details is something the rumors barely mention. What nobody's really talking about is the complete reimagining of the user interface and control system. According to sources close to Fujifilm's development team, the X-Pro5 might feature the most significant ergonomic overhaul in the series' history, addressing years of photographer feedback about menu diving and control accessibility. This isn't just about moving buttons around. It's about creating a shooting experience that feels intuitive rather than nostalgic to a fault. The rumored implementation of customizable function buttons and improved rear LCD integration could mean you finally get that classic rangefinder feel without sacrificing modern shooting efficiency. This matters because the X-Pro series has always walked this tightrope between vintage appeal and contemporary functionality. And getting that balance wrong could alienate both traditional film photographers transitioning to digital and younger shooters who want the aesthetic without the limitations. There's also whispered speculation about enhanced film simulation processing that goes beyond simple color grading, potentially offering more nuanced control over how your images develop that beautiful Fujifilm look straight out of camera. However, and this is crucial, these ergonomic improvements might also explain why the camera could be delayed beyond initial projections. Redesigning core interface elements isn't something you rush, especially when your reputation depends on getting the user experience exactly right. And if this is true, it could also explain why Fuji might delay the launch. Let's have an honest conversation about what this camera means in the real world, because the rumor mill loves to ignore the uncomfortable truths about pricing and market positioning. If the X-Pro5 lands at $2,200, this is going to be a very selective purchase, not a mass market hit. That's serious money that puts it in direct competition with full-frame alternatives that might offer more versatility for the same investment. Professional photographers and serious enthusiasts who already understand the X-Pro philosophy will likely embrace it. But casual shooters looking to upgrade from their smartphone or entry-level camera might find better value elsewhere. The realistic release timeline is probably later than everyone hopes. Early to mid-2025 feels optimistic when you consider global supply chain challenges and Fujifilm's tendency to prioritize quality over speed to market. Production challenges aren't just theoretical concerns. They're realities that affect when cameras actually reach stores and at what price point. The semiconductor shortages that disrupted the entire industry haven't completely disappeared, and specialized components like the hybrid viewfinder system require precise manufacturing that can't be rushed. There's also the question of whether Fujifilm can produce enough units to meet demand if the camera generates significant enthusiasm, something that's been a challenge for several recent camera releases across different manufacturers, which means we might be in for a longer wait, but one that could actually be worth it if Fujifilm delivers on the promise of balancing tradition with innovation. So here's where I want your take, because this could go either way. We've separated fact from fiction today on the X-Pro5, and now I want to hear from you. The rumors suggest Fujifilm is betting big on photographers who value character over specifications, tradition over trends, and quality over quantity. Whether that bet pays off depends on execution, pricing, and ultimately whether enough photographers still believe in the rangefinder philosophy in 2025. The camera industry is brutal right now, with smartphones eating into the casual market and full-frame mirrorless dominating the professional space, leaving cameras like the X-Pro5 to carve out their own unique niche. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What's your honest take on Fuji's next move? Are you willing to invest in a camera that prioritizes shooting experience over raw specifications? Or do you think the market has moved beyond what the X-Pro series represents? And if you value camera talk without the fluff, hit subscribe, send a super thanks to keep this going, and consider joining the channel membership for exclusive behind-the-scenes content where we dive even deeper into the industry insights that shape these discussions. Because at the end of the day, cameras are just tools, but the right tool in the right hands can create something extraordinary. And maybe, just maybe, the X-Pro5 will be worth the wait.